Sahana bhavatu, sahano bhunaktu, sah viryankaravavahai, tejasvinavadhetamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti. In our day-to-day transactions in life, it is easy for us to recognize what people are doing. Let's say when you introduce also, they ask, what do you do? I'm doing business. One person, another person says, I'm a doctor. Another person says, I am a lawyer. Another person says, I am a teacher. Each one gives what they do. And whatever they perform actions, the actions of people are visible, perceptible, understandable by everyone. But it is far more difficult for us to recognize how they do that. How good a teacher are you? How good a businessman are you? How good a lawyer are you cannot be decided based on a single case. Isn't it? Cannot be based on the result that you produce in a single quarter. You can't decide the success or how good an actor is based on a single one movie. You can't take one character they play. Based on that, you can't decide how great that actor is. So what you do is very easy to recognize. But how you do that to recognize is not readily available for us. That takes time. I need to be with you for a period of time, and I have to see you in different situations, different batch of students, how they are learning from you, different quarters, different market scenarios. How you perform is where I can decide how good a businessman are you, or how good a teacher are you, or how good an actor are you, how good a sportsman are you, how good a batsman are you. Cannot be decided only by a particular batsman playing only in one condition. In different climate conditions, in different pitches, different bowlers, for a period of time you have to take. So, how good a person is, how you do an action, how anybody does an action is more difficult, but it is possible for us to understand. All that I require is I have to spend little more time with you. If I spend little more time, I would be able to understand how you do an action. But when it comes to the question of why you do, it is impossible for me to know that. Why you are doing, I can never understand it. Nor can you understand why I am doing. You can spend rest of your life with me, but still you will be ignorant of what is my real motive behind it. What is my real understanding behind it? What is it that is driving me to do whatever I'm doing? At best, you can guess. That's about it. It'll be, at best, it'll be. I'm talking about your day-to-day transactions with people around you. Why he started? That's why in the companies, they say mission statement. Vision statement. They hire a profession to write a big vision statement. Like in one of the college, this MBA students, the professor was so angry, he was shouting when I was sitting in his cabin. He was shouting at those guys. You can't present it on time. He said, sir, I needed more time for me to present it because, I couldn't write. I had to collect information. There's something, and all these guys were, these two boys were crying and, asking him to accept it because time is over. So finally, after they left, I asked him, what is the project? The project name he gave was Your Dream Job. The students have to, the fellow was saying, sir, we got to Google it. No, we got to collect information. I said, see, the topic is your dream job. The moment they ask you to speak about your dream job, you should be able to rattle off. The professor has to say, please stop. Enough. We can't give you more time, man. You are given only 10 minutes. Within the 10 minutes only you have to speak. You can't be speaking more than that. That's called a dream job. What you have been dreaming about. Now, why do we have to hire a profession to come and assist us to draft a mission statement? We need a consultant. You need a mentor for that. I said, see, mission statement is your mission. Correct? Now we say organization vision. Organization has 50,000 people as employees. Now you mean to say all 50,000 has the same motto? How is it possible? That's why I don't know how that is actually, but they say it is mandatory, sir. If you have to get that ISO, some ranking they have, if you have to get it, you need to write it, and it should be displayed, which nobody knows, nobody reads. In a company, I actually asked the receptionist, what is your mission statement? I asked her just like that, because they are supposed to meet that CEO and that we are waiting outside. I don't know what to do. And I need to strike some conversation. So how to start a conversation? Simply asked her suddenly, what's your mission statement? It's written there. Yes. Her instant reply was, it's written there. You see that? Yes. Mission statements means the moment somebody asks about it, it should just come out. Why you do action, what that is driving you to do that action, your real intent, your real motive, what is backing that action, that why is so difficult to recognize by you yourself. Forget about outsiders. Where is a chance for an outsider to know why you do it? At best, it will be a good guess. That's about it. But there can never be a clarity in terms of that why dimension of life. That's what Krishna says in the Gita. Gahana karmano gati. The concept of action is impenetrable. You can't penetrate and understand, man. Why? Because of this reason. What is very easy? How? All that I have to do is spend little more time. If I have little intelligence to organize the things and make the right connections and make right deductions, I'll get it. But how much ever I try, it's impossible for me to know why you do what you do. You will say, I have to ask you the question, why did you do that? You will give an answer. I have to gulp it, full stop. There is no way that I can cross-verify. There's no way that I can prove it or disprove it. You can prove what you did I can prove how good you did or how bad you did. But I can never prove your why. In layman's language, we call it as intention. Because it's coming from that personality. The being. The action springs from the being. If it is not possible for us to understand what is happening inside a personality, here we are attempting to understand inside a person there is no personality. Minus personality, what's happening inside? In the absence of personality, what is happening inside? Is what the attempt here is intrinsic being. Where is a chance for us to really capture it? But still, we try just to stretch our intellect. Stretch and stretch and stretch, thereby making our intellect more and more flexible. Flexible, 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 accommodative, accommodative. You can accommodate ideas far more. More and more and more and more. A point comes where it breaks. That breaking point you have to reach. Till that time, you have to go on doing this. For which he takes 5 dimensions of that personality. Now, if you have to understand what is happening there, it's easier for us to understand what is happening here with the personality, what is happening in me, contrast is happening in him without the personality. That is how we understand, by sheer contrast. Even though there is no direct link, but we try to do like this. That's why we say how good our actions are. Our actions are lacking power, potency in it. We don't have that power. There's no dynamism in our actions. His actions are so dynamic, concentrated. It's solid, so powerful, so potent. We lack it. By removing the reasons causing us to lose that power, he has gained that power. And that's what we saw in the last class. What all the things that is causing us to lose that? Which first point he gave is selfishness. The selfish intent, the selfish thought, selfish idea. When that idea is driving you to perform an action, there will be loss of energy, loss of power. How and all those things you have seen already. So I'm not going to explain that again. How selfishness is causing us to lose energy, power, thought energy, this, that, and all those things. So we have seen that earlier. So I don't want to go on repeating the same again. So we understand that my actions are losing its power because of this reason. Another reason is we saw is the actions which are performed out of paradharma, not swadharma. Paradharmic field of actions. Wherever there is that paradharmic field, there is. Now, what is the swadharmic field? Swadharmic field means where action gets inspired for the performance of action, not the inspiration from the result of action. The motivation is not coming from the result. The possibility of result. When I say result, I mean the possibility of result. If I do this, a possibility for me to get that is more. Therefore, I'm doing it. Now, example we give, that's about it. But don't go by the example alone, please. Example typically we give is this. So there was a time once people were all going crazy after civil engineering. Remember, ages back, civil engineering. And then it moved on to this mechanical engineering. Right. And then it moved on to this electronics and telecommunications engineering. I'm just taking one field, just to give an example. And then it came this IT. So you have to get why. It's not that you are interested in civil engineering, the boy is not interested, or the girl is not interested in mechanical, or is not interested in electronics, telecommunications, none of those things. Then what is inspiring them to take that field of education? Because the possibility for me to get a job is there. That's all it is. Wanted to take to medical. Why you want to take to medical? As a quick question, immediately the answer is what? Job. Career is fixed. So therefore you take it up. Now, why do you take it up? Why that boy or girl wants to study anything? When this question is asked, what is inspiring you is not the field. What is inspiring is what is the result of your expertise in the field. That is a typical Indian, things. Every family will say, and they'll put their child into kids, small tiny tots, they'll put them to this music class. For how long? Dance class, how long? Sports coaching, how long? Till they come to 9th standard. The moment they come to 10th standard, what happens? The dance teacher or the music teacher says, we have to go for this one. There is a program there. There is a class there. We wanted to do some extra class. There is an extra person coming, is going. Immediately the parents' reply is what? The mother calls and says, she cannot come today. Why? She has to do her 10th. I'm not saying you should not score in 10th or you should not score in 12th, please. Right? The moment this comes in, that takes a backseat. Why? What is the reason for that? Inspiration is not in music. Inspiration is not the fact that you are singing or playing that instrument. You are not excited by that instrument. That instrument should be, staggering to you. Look at this, man. Just a small circle. I tap here one sound, I tap there another sound. Tap here one sound, tap there another sound. Do you get that sound? They say. Mridangam, I remember that when I went to that, I was attending, my friend was having the class, so I just went along with him. Sitting there, enjoying the teacher playing. So there he was tapping and asking the students to recognize what is that tala, that sound. Dhim, thang, this, that. So, different. I was almost asking him, see, I'm able to recognize it only after you said, not before. I was like, is it because you told I'm seeing it, or that's what it is supposed to be? It's fascinating to see that. The sound. It should fascinate you. What is it? Just that music, just that sport. That sport should inspire you. The fact that I'm able to run faster should inspire you to go for this. Suddenly now we have got, few goals, this one. Suddenly you will find everyone going into that. Suddenly there will be a huge thing about this. Currently, why in India everybody plays cricket? They are all not cricketers. There's nothing to do with that. Everybody wants to, in cricket also, everybody wants to do only batting. You've seen. There'll be a fight only for batting. You will not find anywhere there's a fight for fielding. I will stand only in the long on. I will not stand anywhere else. Put me there. That is my position. Nobody's, fights for that. Fighting is only for batting. Why? You see, this is not the way you decide your things. When you perform actions because you are inspired by the action per se, that is Swadharma. Paradharma is opposite of that. We gravitate towards action for the result, anticipating the result. The moment we see that possibility of the result is not there, what happens to us? That's why we say success is what? For all of us. The result or the fruit, the outcome of the action, if it were to be the way I wanted it, I would call it a success. You see, after studying medicine, what is going to happen to you? Starting point, every medical college students, you ask them, they'll say, I'm going to serve. I'm going to serve. I don't understand why only medical people should do service. Engineering people don't have to do service. I don't know why we have this strange, idea. Only medical people are expected to serve. Imagine one medical fellow says, I'm taking this only for money. We think, you a good career, sir. We think he's something wrong with him. But if a businessman had to say that I'm doing business only for money, we say, correct. That's what you're supposed to do. We have an idea, if the way I expect the fruit, if that comes, then I'm interested to put in any effort, perform the action. Such activities will not have power. Actions will not have that power for us to do. The way in which you act, it's finite. It produces just the finite results. Yes, these people, actions, have that infinite result. That's what he says. It assumes infinite proportions. One Krishna, one Bhagavad Gita he gave. Inspiring for generations. See, one book, a casual conversation, just an innocuous conversation of that one conversation of his, one life. It's one discovery, one act, assumes infinite proportions, yes, produces infinite results. That's what he is explaining here. He says, apply this principle. If you apply these principles in life, yes, your power is so much so that even makes a mute speak. The lame scale mountains. That is the power. Lame scale mountains also we have seen. This girl who lost her legs, he climbed Mount Everest. Says, I didn't knew this. I thought, okay, one more girl, what? Yeah, I'm missing a name. girl, lost her legs. And after that, I saw her interview. That's where I realized, my God, this girl lost both the legs and she has scaled mountains. And we are seeing that in this, Olympics now, the Paralympics, they say. Unbelievable. How can they have such power? From where they get it? Now, here we are sitting with all that limbs, everything is perfect. Fully functioning, at least. Compared to them, they stand so tall and we look so insignificant in front of those people. What is it that is making there? Because of this reason. There is something there they have. What is it now? There's no selfishness or the swadharma. It's their swadharmic field, meaning they don't take it up for the sake of the result. It is that action that is inspiring. It is that action that is what they wanted. They're not interested in the result. That's the power, he says. It makes a mute speak. That we have not seen. Mute speak. Mute speaking doesn't, don't take it literally, mute speaking. It's not like that. Don't take it as some miracles. We're not talking about miracles. He's talking about the possibilities. Then we have this, Valmiki. If you read Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana, just for the literary beauty there, just that scholarship, the command in the language, and then go back to know who about the author. Who's that author? Say, man who could not even pronounce Rama. Of all the names, the Rama is the easiest one to pronounce. Even that he didn't know how to pronounce. You can imagine what would be his level of proficiency. Because language means the control, the tongue, the ability to twist and turn, produce that sound. Easiest sound is that Ram. Is an easy sound. Couldn't even pronounce that. From there, he evolved to a position of a title, Adi Kavi. First poet. Adi Kavi means first poetry. Before that, there's no poetry in Sanskrit. The poetic expressions. Before that, it's all only Vedas and in all technical things. This person to write that poetry and get the title as Adi Kavi, the chief of all the Kavis. And even Kalidasa. If you read the life of Kalidasa, you find it almost impossible to believe. If you come, it's all old stories, I would say. If you come even closer once, you see Vivekananda. Such a shy person, Vivekananda. So shy he is. A group of people standing there, he'll feel shy and he'll go hide himself. A man could stand there, that one thing that, that parliament of religion produced is Vivekananda. That's all. Minus Vivekananda, I don't know what else happened there. At least we don't know. Maybe they would have taken some, resolutions were passed, this, that passed, and all those things. But of all the speakers who had spoken, this one fellow who stood out, all that, Vivekananda. What was his nature? So shy. He roared like a lion there. How? That's what he says. makes the mute speak. Ukam karoti vacha. It means just, mountains means obstacles. He can overcome obstacles, great obstacles with a lacuna, with a defect, with the problem. He can overcome all that. You can imagine if he were to be having it without a problem, how powerful they would be. That is the power of a man of realization. But don't think power means immediately he will start, doing some magic and miracles and all that, please. He will go and touch you, and suddenly, you will transform yourself, and he touches you, you get realization. I remember one fellow told me that actually. Realization, you don't have to do 3 years course. And I said, I want to do 3-year course in the Vedanta Academy and all that. This way. 3 years, why you spend for that? It'll take you. If you're lucky, you will get it. I can't guarantee you. That's the same thing, that master also told me. If you are, you'll get it. I can't guarantee. After 3 years, will you get realization? I can't guarantee. Same thing this man said. All that you have to do is what? You have to just come and sit there. And the Guru will come. He'll come, he'll just go around. And he will touch your head. If he touches your head, means you'll get realization. That's all. So all that you have to do is what? He will come, he will touch you, you will get realization. You have power. Suddenly you will get that power to, influence people, influence this, change this, nothing of that. Like Ramakrishna Paramahansa, they give a story. One lady brought a child. This fellow is eating sweets too much. Tell him, give him some advice. Ramakrishna said, bring him next Amavasya. So next Amavasya, 1 more month. He said, yeah, come bring him next Amavasya, I'll tell him. And this lady took the child back and she came back. She thought he was going to do something. So he came back after, so much of struggle, traveled and came. Ramakrishna Paramahansa told that boy, why are you eating sweets? Sweets are not good for you. Don't eat. That's all. Go. The lady got so annoyed. Said, sir, if this is what you're going to say, you could have told the same thing last month, no? As last month the problem was, last month, I was so involved in eating. Now, how can I tell them not to eat? When I'm checking every half an hour, I'm going and checking with Sharda. What is for lunch? She used to get annoyed with Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Every time, you'll come into the kitchen. What are you making today for lunch? And she says, this is what I'm going to do. You'll get so excited. Wow, super, I'm waiting for that. He'll go out. And again, next day, he'll come and ask, what are you making for lunch? What is making for dinner? What is this for this? What is that? One day, she got so annoyed. People think you're an avatar Purusha. Behave like this. What are you doing? This is the only thing which is holding me to this body. The day I drop this, remember, one day you will bring food and I will not touch. Understand what? Backing off. And this exactly happened, she says. This miracles, power doesn't mean all that. Power is just a normal life. They look so normal, so ordinary, but tremendous power in them. With the contrast, we understand. Same formula we will adopt for understanding every aspect. All the 5 aspects, same formula. Same method of analysis. By contrast, we understand it. In our case, all these things are happening. All these things are resulting in our inadequacies, in our problems. All this is eliminated in him. Therefore, he has the opposite of it. Okay. Move to next idea. His love. Yes.
New book, page 240. His love. The love that people claim to possess is restricted to the idea they identify with. Beyond that area, they engender bitterness, hatred. The area of identification starts with a dot, increases in concentric circles, only to get lost in its boundless, infinite expanse. The lowest, meanest character confines his love to the dot, to his own personality. No more. He is selfish to the core. In his lifetime, he caters to his welfare only. He does so even at the expense of his family. His love starts and ends with his personality. The next grade of humans moves up to the first circle defined by one's family. A person in this category pours out love for the members of his family. He cares for their welfare, serves and sacrifices for them alone. His love stops there. It does not extend beyond the circumference of the domestic circle. All other families, save his present, a competition, conflict, bitterness. Higher than this cadre is the individual who identifies with the larger circle, his community. His love reaches beyond the family to embrace the members of his community. His interest is confined to this boundary. Within his circle, he feels a sense of fraternity and friendship. That is the limit of his love. Beyond the limit, he engenders hatred, jealousy, and other negative feelings. Thus, does love reach further to the citizens of his country, to humanity, to all living creatures. Yet, the love in all these cases is confined to its area but turns bitter beyond its boundary. Far above all these cadres lies the divine love of a self realized soul. In him, there is no trace of selfishness. His identification, attention, interest is everywhere and nowhere in particular. His love has no boundary, no division or demarcation, no limitation. It is love in its purest form with no qualification or modification.
His love. Love, whatever you understand as love, don't worry about the theoretical understanding of love, technical understanding, all that. First, you always start with what you understand as love. Say that, no, I love my wife, I love my child, I love my car. Somewhere you use the word, right? That feeling is what is referred here as love. That's all. Don't worry. Don't start beyond that. How we start our thinking is, what is the opposite of love? That is the first thing. Step one in our analysis is we say, okay, sir, I have love. Opposite, he has love, his love. So how we understand his love? We understand his love in contrast with our love. Like how we understood his power in contrast with our power. Our power comes from other sources. His power comes from a different source. So there is a difference we understand. Why we are not able to have the access to that sort of a power? Because of these reasons. Eliminated those things and all that. And now we say his power is the same way. We ask this quick question. His love contrast to our love. That's why he is doing more analysis with reference to our love. He's doing elaboration is with reference to the love that we know of. The love that we know of has a boundary. It has a boundary, means it is within that area only. Meaning, I have love within this boundary, means beyond that boundary, what is it? I don't have love. Whatever be the boundaries, the boundary may vary from person to person, whatever be the size of the boundary, but we do have a boundary. And we have various levels of that boundary. We'll see that. So essentially, love of his is different from our love. What is the difference? We also claim I love. He also has love. So we think both of us have love. He says no, there is a difference. What is the essential difference? Fundamental difference is our love is within that boundary. His love has no division, demarcation. There is no boundary. That's a basic difference. So we need to understand what is the essential difference here. We derive things from here. We have a boundary, means how we draw that boundary. We have to ask these two things. And what we do with outside that boundary. Like we relate with people, right? So this is one line of thinking, one way of analyzing it. One way of analysis is this. Since we started in this direction, we go in that same direction of thinking. Say, yes, boundary is the basic idea we take, because that's what he is explaining in the whole thing. He says there is a boundary for our things. He doesn't have that boundary. You say, what is a boundary? This is the boundary we have. He doesn't have this boundary. What is a boundary? He says oneself. Beyond that self is family. Beyond that family is community, country, humanity. Then comes universal one. That's a straight line. Your straight line is defined mathematically as the arc of a circle which radius is infinite. That is actually a circle there. Only thing is the radius is infinite. That is why we say boundaryless. There is no boundary to it. It is universal. Covers the entire human beings. What is our condition, sir? Our condition, he says, is it starts with a dot. Just the whole thing he says, no? The area of identification starts with a dot. Increases in concentric circles. That's what we see here. Oneself, family, community, country, all this is concentric circles. Keeps on increasing there. Now, when it goes on increasing, a point comes where it has no boundary at all. It is infinite expanse. That is his love. Contrast to that is our love. What is our love? Our love is within that circle. Now, the circle may vary from person to person. What is the size of the circle will vary from person to person. This is, within one family or this or that. How we take it up is a different thing. Each one will have their own circles. How we draw that circles is by the way of adding one thing. Wherever there is the sense of mind, that becomes a boundary. Myself. That's it. Oneself. He says, myself. Then you have to do in the concentric circles, you have to add the word my family. You see. Now, for you to love someone, you have to first claim them to be mine first. See that? Unless I claim that as mine, my country. What is my country? From where you derive that idea of my country, which is my countries. Like we say, for example, Ramatirtha. We all glorify Ramatirtha. Ramatirtha is not Indian because he was born in Lahore. Now, is Ramatirtha Indian or Pakistani? We'll say, no. He is Indian only. Ramatirtha is Indian now, sir. Why? How? It changes, no? Like this is between countries. Within country itself, it changes. Recently, they divided, no, our neighboring state got divided into two. Now what happens? Andhra, Telangana. Now what is it? When we were studying, it was Andhra state. Now what is it? All those things belong to which state now? Hyderabad is where now? I was studying, Hyderabad is capital of Andhra state. Now, so those people there, they say what? We are. So you say, we are that state. And then we say that community. What is that community? Who defines that boundary? Is it political boundary? If it is political boundary, then Ramatirtha we should not be claiming. Because, political map says what? Politically, Andhra, Telangana. Then we say, no. My religion, you should not say. But my language, you can say. Say, what difference does it make? Division should not happen based on religion, but division can happen with reference to language. Either you take a stand saying no division or divide according to convenience. All divisions are acceptable. We say, no. Religious divisions are not wrong. But country divisions are allowed. I am a proud American. I am a proud German. I am a proud Japanese. I am a proud Australian. I am a proud Indian. I am a proud, English. I am a proud this. Now we feel genuinely proud about it. When do you feel that? Indian feels proud about India when he is in abroad, not in India. He feels, I am an Indian. I want to bring up my child with Indian values. Where? In New York, the fellow says, I wanted to have my child brought up with this one. In South Africa, the fellow says, I want to have my child. He is South African, he is not Indian. The hell that is born, he lives as that. Now there, that division is okay. This division. Now remember, anywhere I claim that as mine, that draws the boundary. That's about it. If I feel me to be something belonging to that particular group, that particular herd, we say, we call it as, that becomes mine. And within that, how I will be, he says. Within that circle, I will be so loving, so affectionate, so concerned. But beyond that circle, what I will do? The moment a person comes outside that circle, all Christians go to heaven. Who goes to heaven? Christians go to heaven. Everybody, nobody else goes to heaven. Then I asked, which Christian? Because Catholic, Protestant, Pentecostal is there. This one is there. So many are there, no? So that many heavens are there, is it? This immediately the person says, no, only Catholic will go. So among Christians also, not all Christians will go, sir. Only Roman Catholic only will go to heaven. The same with reference to every religion. I'm just giving one example, okay? Don't say immediately, oh, why are you giving only that? What about this religion? You can keep on adding things, right? But it's so interesting to see people. Within that circle, I am able to be so accommodative. Remember, the sign of love is you say that I love someone. How do you know you love someone? Is you are willing to accommodate. The capacity to accommodate the other is how love will express itself. I can accommodate them also in my life. Like in the train, I don't know, it must be happening here also. The train, they say, Solpa adjust Madi. They say, come and sit, They say, I've seen, friends doing it in the bus. He will, only two can sit there actually. Already 3 fellows are sitting in that. And then he sees one of his friends just, hopped that stop. He sees him and says, hey, come on. Come. They call that fellow and they will take that bag and give it to another fellow. He will just, little adjustment he will make and ask him also to sit. Almost that guy is sitting on his lap. There's no problem at all. If there is another person who is a stranger where to come and sit next to him, he feels so uncomfortable, sweating. Sweating and, not clean, he has not taken bath. You look at him this way, up and down. Why are you like this? Why are you like that? So much, we feel. But the moment and why I'm able to accommodate. Why I'm able to accommodate? Because I have that fondness towards my friend. I'm so fond of that person. I can accommodate. That's called love. Wherever you have that feeling of accommodate, that feeling of fondness is called love. Now, more that number of people I can accommodate, bigger my love is. How many people I'm able to accommodate? Greater the number, greater the accommodation. That's how we find oneself, family, community, country, humanity, the whole thing. Because humanity, you take only 7 billion, that's it. I can accommodate 7 billion, but not beyond. And beyond that circle, what do I do? How do I treat them? That is a question. That's where life gets so interesting. Beyond that circle of my identification, how I treat others is I start hatred towards them. To the extent I have that feeling of fondness and love and affection and intimacy I feel with these people, to the same extent, I will start hating people outside that. And you hate and hate and hate and hate. And hatred will go on increasing, increasing, increasing. Right? And if you see that's the circle there, you find the person who is fond of only himself, let's say, or his family, right? He will have a hatred towards that community. He will have hatred towards the country. Many times we wonder, now how, sir, where did I have that hatred towards? I don't think, I have hatred and all that. It's not that I'm hating people and all those things. No, Ishvara, you're wrong. Say, Vedanta is wrong. No. Beyond that boundary, I'm not going to be harnessing those things. No, that's not what I feel, we say. But what he is actually experiencing with reference to people outside that circle, theoretically speaking, we'll say opposite of love is hatred. But when it comes to the same equation, we will find what? Suppose imagine that I have my circle of identification is only with reference to my family, let's say. That means I must be having hatred towards my community. I should have that hatred towards the country. Is that the truth? Is that what we are experiencing? Do you experience that in you? Will you agree to that? We'll say, no. I don't think I am hating my community. I don't think I am hating my country. I don't think I am hating humanity. No, Ishwaran, you are wrong. That is where Vedanta comes and says, opposite of love is not hatred. See, because if it is the case, then this is what would be happening. But that's not happening. So therefore, what will you be doing with reference to beyond your circle? Beyond your circle, within that circle, I have that identification. Beyond the circle, I will have indifference. So, to whatever I call as mine, I will identify, accommodate, be nice to them, be fond of them. I will be so sacrificial. I'll be willing to serve them. All the signs of love, I will demonstrate there. But when it comes to beyond that circle, you will not be demonstrating the signs of hatred. You will not have that. That is where we get duped. That's where we get confused. So we think, since I am not entertaining hatred towards the other circles, we think my love has priorities. You say, no. Love cannot have priorities. There is no priorities. Obligations can be prioritized, but love cannot be prioritized. Feelings cannot be. Obligations needs to be prioritized. But how you prioritize, on what basis, that is a different equation. But what can be prioritized and organized is your obligations. But your feeling cannot be done that way. Now we are discussing about that emotion, feeling here. Now that emotion, when it comes beyond that circle, what are we doing, sir? You become indifferent. Not hatred. Now you see, what is it that you do with reference to the community, sir? What is it that you do for your country? You are indifferent to the needs of the country. You ask me, what is a proof? Average election, you see, 30% of the people don't come for voting itself. Who is that 30%? That is also very interesting. Right? The city. In cities, if you see the voting rate with reference to your community, how much are you interested and engaged with reference to your community? Community welfare. Do you have that concern? That is a question. Now, I'm living in this community. We have a community here. About 500 apartments are there in my place. Right. 5 fellows are working. That's about it. Rest of that 500 fellows, what are they doing? What is the problem? Why all headaches are? It's a headache. I'm not saying it should not be a headache or it is a headache. I think you are refusing even to apply yourself. You see, that is called indifference. You don't even care about it. Go through all the procedures, this and all those things. I'm saying, state-wise and all those things maybe. You look into your own places, wherever you have been living. And a lot of you will be living in this community. Country you take. How much are we having that? What is it that you do for country's sake? That is a problem of all soldiers. Army people should do. What are we supposed to do for it? What do you want me to do? What is it that we have done? You have that identification. I'm not saying doing it. Even though I'm saying as what is it that you have done? Do you feel? The only thing you feel is only when there is a war, there is a calamity. And we feel we are doing something extraordinary by that. And there is a huge, calamity should happen somewhere. There should be a drought somewhere, or there should be a flood, or there is an earthquake, or there is a bomb blast. So for you to have a reaction, this is called indifference. Remember this. You can react and respond only in emergency. Other times you're not. That's called indifference. Isn't it? You're sleeping. It's like a fellow sleeping. When you wake him up, he's not waking up. Then what do you have to do? There has to be a thunder. That sort of a sound has to come. Bomb blast has to happen for the fellow to wake up. What happened? Yeah. That means what was he doing earlier? It's called indifference to the needs, to the requirements, what is the things and all those things. You become so indifferent beyond the boundary, he says. That's the beauty of that circles, the concentric circles. What he's talking about is that. He says, within that circle, you appear to be. That's what is very important, he says. You appear. You're not really. Even that love that you're claiming to be having within that circle is also what? Not a real one. That is also appearance, he says. You appear to be having that love and affection and identification and fondness and all those things. Why? Because all that you experience is only what? Transactional. I will love you only if you love me. You see? So I love you, you should love me. Will you stop there now? Sentence is not complete yet. You should love me only. Okay. Now, can I put a full stop? No. One more condition. We'll add one more word to that. What is it? You should love me only always. You should love me, then I will love you. Then what does it say? You should love me only. You can't afford to love another person. You say that I love that person, finished. All it will kill you. Have you seen that kids fighting? Who loves more? Mother loves the first child or the second child? Always there will be a fight. Have you seen? Father likes whom? And parents also asking the child. It's not only this way, other way also. Who do you like, father or mother? The child says, neighboring auntie. They're finished. What do we do now? Love. He says, you love. The love that you claim to be experiencing within that circle is also apparent only, not real. Why? It is subjected to so many conditions. That's what he says. Love, conditions applied. Fred defined it beautifully, he says. He said, what is love? I love you. Conditions applied. What is the conditions applied? All this, and this is not enough. We'll go on adding conditions into that. You should love me always the way I want you to love. Again, you will add one more. So what you should do? You should love me. You should love me only. And you should love me always only. And you should love me only always the way I want you to love. Today, if you want me to love in a particular way, you should love me that way. Tomorrow, if I change my way, then you should also change immediately and love me the way I want you to love me. Then I will love. Then you will be blessed with my love. I'll shower my love towards you. This is what we say, that we are loving within the circle. Remember. Okay. Beyond that circle, what are you? You don't care. We don't bother actually. If at all you have to bother, there has to be something drastically, something negative should happen, or something extraordinary positive should happen. Some great thing happens, then you will show. That's why we said, birthday, marriage, they will give gifts. Marriage gift. Gift you give, that you give, this you do. All those things, you do all that. Why? Because a particular day, an event is needed for you to feel it itself. I'm not talking about expressions again. Okay. Other days, do you feel anything? You need something, magnified to be happening for you to react, for you to feel something, for you to feel good or for you to feel sad for that person. Feel happy for that person or sad for the person. Something great has to happen. Then what are you with reference to the other times? Normal days, what are you? Indifferent. So opposite of love is not hatred, remember. Philosophically, opposite of love is not hatred. It is indifference. Psychologically, it is hatred. The other way. See, that is a difference. Psychologically, it is hatred. But philosophically, it's not hatred. Philosophy says, no. That's why we say philosophy goes one step beyond psychology. It goes beyond it. It's beyond all this, mind study. It goes beyond that. It goes one step deeper than that. So his love has no boundaries, which means his love has no conditions, and no mark of indifference, no stain of indifference in that. So, no attachment, no hatred, no indifference. Delete all that. Our understanding of affection and fondness always comes with these three. Attachment means I have to feel this is mine. Then I can love. That's attachment within that circle. Along with that comes what? Conditions. Then beyond that circle, what is it? Hatred. Psychologically, we experience that. Transactionally, we experience it. Philosophically, what are you? Indifferent. So, Vyavaharika state, hatred, opposite. Paramarthika state, it is absolute. Opposite of love is this. That's what is referred here. It says his love has nothing of that. It's divine, he says. The divine love of self-realized soul. Beyond all this, which means he doesn't fall into any one of these points. No attachment, no hatred, no indifference. That's what it means. His love. What is his love? His love has no attachment. His love doesn't carry the flip side of hatred or indifference. Minus all these things. That is pure love. His love. We'll see more in the next class.